Go ahead and show you where I'm at. So everything over on this side of the motor is 100% done. So like I said, boost controller, crank sensor, wideband, all nice and loomed, heat shrunk, and my coolant sensor, and then everything gets loomed and heat shrunk into this one bundle. All right, and this comes in and along, and it's gonna wrap down and under. Now I'm gonna do my VVT-i. It's gonna come down and it's gonna get loomed with this cable and start working on this side. So let's get at it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pin this VVT-i connector. So it's like 4. Now it makes life a lot easier if you put these green pieces on before you strip the wire, obviously. Now the main reason for that is that the wire doesn't get caught in the weather stripping. Okay. We'll go ahead. I just won't lose it. Now that center piece is crimped. Right, now I'm going to crimp this piece around the weather stripping. Just like that. Do the same for the other one. Like I said, every time make sure it's tight, like give it a good tug. Make sure that it's actually seated in there nicely. So like I said before, the last thing you want is to be trying to diagnose wiring after you just rebuilt a brand new harness. Just do it right the first time. Okay, now we're gonna pop this in. Now, it's hard to see in there, but at the top piece, there's little prongs that clip into this. So these need to go facing upwards. Now, the way I do this, for ease of anything, this is the old VVT-i connector, okay? And as you can see, there's a red and a white and a red. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna use the red wire to go for the red and white, and then I'm gonna use the white wire for the white and red. And that way, when it comes down to connecting power and ground, I know what the hell's going on. So, all right, so we're gonna go ahead. Now all you do, you hear a nice solid click, give her a tug, make sure she's in there nice. Just like that. And you always want to make sure that your weather seals are actually fully pressed in there. And now once you got the pins in, you can press the lock in. Just like that. And you have repinned the connection. Now, just like that. So now I'm going to heat shrink this. there. Just like that. And now we have our VVT-i connector done. And that's gonna sit down there like that, and that's gonna get loomed in with that one. So that's done. Okay, so now I'll pin this up. Guys, I just made a mistake. Okay, so I just pinned this connector, but what did I forget? Forgot one of these. So, that sucked ass. Now I'm gonna have to pull this whole cable out. Which isn't too big of a deal, but pain in the ass. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to take off this label I have. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to attempt to feed it on from this side. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. Okay, nice and tight. Now, I'm going to look inside your connector, figure out which way. This goes facing up. Nice mechanical click. Okay, and then plug in your knock sensor. Run your cable. Done. Now I'm going to do the second one. Now, when you're measuring, I like to see where you're gonna go. It's pretty damn important because you start cutting shit too short, and then you're gonna have to add on to it, and then you're just gonna, yeah, it's just not a good time. So, just take your time. Like, don't get me wrong, I've never built a harness like this before in my life. Literally, never done it. Never done it. But, if you take your time, and you have somewhat of a knowledge with 12 volt. Fortunately, I'm working with 12 volt every day, so. But, always wanted to do this, and I'm finally doing it. Now, like I said previously as well, you want to obviously make sure that these braided grounds are not touching this power lead, or else you're gonna be pretty fucked, man. Honestly, I'll give a shit out, because like, these connectors are pretty damn nice, and I haven't had any issues yet, and now I'm probably going to jinx myself by saying that, but realistically, quite impressed with wiring specialties right now. Quite damn impressed. Okay. And that's number 2. Now we're going to go ahead and braid, or throw some braided cabling on these. So, I'll show you guys what this looks like. Okay, so this is the reason why I braid them. And then when it comes over like this, right, and then it'll get tapped into this harness like this, and this will all get loomed. And the nice thing about that is that all these connections literally stay protected. So that's A+ there, and then same with this one over here, right? All right guys, so this right here is my wire for my oil pressure switch or sensor. Another reason why it looks like this actually goes to my gauges. So this all, like this is an aftermarket sensor. Plug this in. It's gonna go like that. Just gonna heat shrink and loom that. Or heat shrink and braid that. That's gone. That's gone. Okay, so at this point, what am I looking like for sensors? I'm looking pretty damn good down here. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, my intake air temperature sensor. I'm gonna do that. Now the reason why I come all the way back here, put these pins together, and then walk this line up separately is for the main reason of making sure that it's going to be the right length. That's going to be just like that. A little piece of tape under. Actually, most of it is brown. Yeah. So, this is along these lines. Now I'm just temporarily taping this so it stays in place and I don't lose my length. So this is for my aftermarket intake air temperature sensor because the stock one runs in the mat. So as you can see, here's my intake temp sense. Now it's just a two-prong plug. If I'm not mistaken. Yep, just 2 prongs. Okay, so this is going to be ran into my intake pipe that comes off the throttle body here. So I'm just going to leave these lengthed, okay, until I put my actual piping on and figure out exactly where I'm going to get this bung welded. And at that point in time, I will finish terminating that. All right, guys, so that's where we're at now. Pretty much what it comes down to. Buddy's sending it out there. Okay, so what it comes down to, crank, wideband, boost controller, coolant temp, okay? Everything on this side of the motor is done. No more needs to be done here. Runs across, okay? Now, VVT-i, done. Intake air temp, partially done. Knock sensor, oil pressure switch, and that is all of the connections at the bottom side, okay? That's all the sensor connections, except for the power steering. Okay, so I have this connector, and I know that the connectors are different between the IS300 and the JZS 161. What I have to figure out is it says that this pump has a portional valve that changes the steering weight when you're going slower. Now, I'm 95% sure that that's the piece that I took off that ran through vacuum. Now on the IS300, it does not have a connector like this. So what I need to do is figure out, am I gonna run this pump? Am I gonna run my IS300 pump? If I'm gonna run this, am I gonna run this connected or am I not gonna connect it? So that's what I'm gonna figure out tonight, do a little bit of research, and then hopefully, because tomorrow's Good Friday, I'm probably gonna come in, I know I have brunch in the morning, probably come in after that and try and tackle the rest of this, because now cam sensor, map sensor, throttle position sensor, that's all the sensors. And then I just gotta wire up the injectors, wire up the injectors and wire up the coils. And we're pretty much there at making a custom harness. So thanks for watching, guys, I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and take it easy.